I'm in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I came up here to run the Sioux Falls Marathon, which isn't my normal distance. I was aiming for a 50 miler, but I ended up getting back into my training after my last ultra a little bit too quickly and ended up getting an overuse injury, some IT band syndrome on my right knee. So that kind of took me out the game for a few weeks. I got behind on my training and I just wasn't prepared to run a race at that distance. So I found this run, and I'm gonna be giving it my all today. I'm not treating it as a training or recovery run, but because I'm coming back from this injury and I've been clocking in some good 40 to 50 mile weeks, but I've noticed that my knee still starts to flare up a little bit once I start getting around mile 17, 18. So especially since I'm gonna be running on road today, I imagine that's gonna kick in at some point. So I have tempered expectations. I'm not going for a PR or anything like that today, but I'm still gonna push it. I'm still gonna give it everything that I got out there. So that's where the race would have been. They ended up actually just canceling it because a tornado came through last night and some crazy weather, which cooled the place off, which is nice, so the temperature's nice, but it ended up flooding the whole zone. And a whole section of the race is apparently underwater. So they are canceling the full marathon. And we went up there and we're asking, hey, me and a couple other people, like, hey, why don't you just call an audible and send us in another direction? And it's because it's a certified course, so it wouldn't be certified if they ended up sending us in a different direction, so it just wouldn't count. This is one of the reasons why I don't run marathons and run ultra, because like, who really cares? Just go out there and run it, right? But a lot of people out here running these marathons are trying to get times to qualify for Boston and all that sort of stuff. All right, so another update. They're letting people who sign up for the full marathon run the half marathon. And that starts at 7, so it's in about half an hour from now. You know, I've never run a half marathon before. To be honest with you, the shortest distance I've done is full marathon. Done like 6 full marathons. Other than that, I usually kind of hang out around the 50 mile distance. But, you know, life's all about putting yourself outside your comfort zone. And so some people might think, well, 13 miles, I mean, that's nothing compared to 50, but it's a different kind of race because you're running at a super fast pace rather than kind of cruising at that ultra pace for an extended period of time. So this is going to be a completely unknown race for me. I've never done this distance. Not exactly sure what pace I should be going at. So it's just going to be an adventure. And I'm going to be running it like full on. So probably won't be doing too many vocal updates because I'll be out of breath, but I'll try to provide an overview of the course. So let's make this happen. Really long distance.
7 o'clock. We've got a horn that will blow.
All right, coming up on mile 5, and we're right at Falls Park. So about to go by the waterfall right now. You can see how high up the water is from the flooding. All right, so I'm a little over 7 miles in. Been really pushing it, kind of hanging out in that zone 4 for most of this race. A little bit time in zone 3, nothing below that. Even pushing up to 5 on some of these hills. Now, for my normal distance, like a 50, I'll be hanging out in zones 1 and 2 all day. So this is definitely against the norm for me, but really enjoying it so far. Just gonna kind of push through, finish these last 6 or so. All right, so we're coming back the way that we started and coming up on mile 10 right now. And just a heads up, if you're planning on running this race, basically from mile 9 to 10 is entirely uphill. We're actually still going uphill here, probably for another quarter mile or so, if I remember correctly. Just under 10 and a half. I got a pretty good downhill section going right here.
Megan Weissner of Sioux Falls, Andrews Meyer of Sartell, Minnesota, Aaron Hernandez of Pelham, Alabama, Austin Metzger of Rock Rapids, correction, David Mitchell of Prairie Village, Mallory Klauchek of Sioux Falls, Amers Milrod of Minneapolis, Spencer Heidebrink of Brandon, Madison Hayek of Kendall, Patrick Mills, Champaign, Illinois.
Just finished up. He gave us that finisher medal, which is for the full marathon distance, but I'm guessing that they just printed out or made a certain number of full marathon and half marathon medals, and for those of us who were planning on running the full marathon and finish the half marathon, they gave us these. But yeah, went pretty hard out there. I averaged around a 7-minute 45-second per mile pace, which is pretty fast for me. This is the first time I've done a half marathon distance. I haven't done anything this short before, and really pushed it. I think if I was going to do it again, I'd probably push it even harder now that I'm familiar with the race. But I'm happy. I'm content with the time. Enjoyed the course. It was pretty nice. Would have been great to run the full because the weather is amazing right now. It's like 68 degrees and sunny, so it would have been a great marathon day. But you know, the weather came through, some tornadoes last night, crazy flooding, and it just destroyed part of the course for the full. And since it's a certified course, they couldn't just reroute it. So it's understandable, but just made the most of it, ran this half. And yeah, just gonna rest up for the next day or two and get back into training, and hopefully start setting my sights on Heartland, which would be in like 4.5, 5 weeks from now. So yeah, gonna get back at training and keep moving forward.